One.
Good morning, everybody. It's 8 a.m. It's time for Biz Talk. Let's get this thing started.
Good morning. How's everybody doing this morning? And welcome to Biz Talk. We're really excited to have everyone here today. I did want to mention that I've not mentioned this before, but you can catch this live on Tuesdays and Fridays on Facebook and YouTube, and then the replays everywhere else. We also are on podcasts now, so you can find us on iTunes. I'm reading them off, sorry. Apple, Spotify, all of those places. So we're really excited. I am Glenna Hum, the owner of Fusion One Marketing, and the reason we have Biz Talk is we really like to connect with local business owners, find out what they have going on, and just really get a pulse of small to medium-sized businesses these days. So I'm going to go ahead and let everybody introduce themselves, and then we'll introduce our awesome guest.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Sarah, the Director of Digital Marketing.
And I'm Kelsey. I'm a social media manager with Fusion One Marketing.
Okay. And we have with us today Angela Deaver. She's actually one of the owners of Cinepear, or I guess one of the owners of Cinepear and Main Street. And why don't you introduce yourself, Angela? Tell us a little bit about yourself, your family, your background, your fur babies, all that kind of stuff.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for including me today. 8 o'clock in the morning is always a wonderful time to meet up with people and try to talk intelligently. So, who knows what this is going to be like. But I am married to my honey. He's over here listening on his laptop to the live version, not to me. He's just listening to, what it comes out as. And we've got a couple fur babies that are back asleep on the couch here near me, and then a kid upstairs who's definitely asleep. So 13 and 8 o'clock in the morning.
Well, we are so happy to have you, and I'm already seeing people. We have Mr. Harry Slagle tuning in this morning with us. He's still he says iTunes, YouTunes. We all scream for iTunes. He's always here to give us a little laugh this early in the morning. So anyway, welcome, Angela. I'm going to go ahead and move it on over to Sarah.
Okay, well, you just mentioned your husband over there that's in the wings, sight unseen. But I wanted to kind of know about this husband-wife team duo. How does that dynamic work for you?
Well, I'm sure.
And be honest.
Yeah. It has its challenges. We started Main Street 17 and a half years ago. So that's a long, long time. Now, at the time, he was still teaching broadcasting at a local high school. And we filmed our first wedding, and we were like, okay, this is kind of fun. This is exciting. I mean, there's nothing like the adrenaline rush of capturing somebody's most awesome day and making sure you get everything, and you're running like crazy, and there's just something about it. And then that kind of launched into a little mini business, kind of a hobby. And then actually we needed funding for infertility treatments. And at the time, he was a teacher. He wasn't making a lot. I wasn't making a lot. So adding the extra source of income to be able to have the money for the fertility treatments is how Main Street really got started.
Wow.
And how we have the 13-year-old today.
So tell us, what all services do you provide?
We do a whole lot of video. It's interesting when you're talking about, it's hard to, you don't want to go on and on about every little aspect of your company, but basically it's just telling stories, whether it's Main Street's telling stories on wedding days or Cinepear, which is more of our corporate brand. You're telling stories for clients, brand videos. The work that we've always done with Main Street, the emotional work that we've always done with Main Street, really translates well to the nonprofit sector when they are needing a video to show at a gala because they are looking for fundraising donations. They need people to be drawn in to the video. They need I mean, it's a terrible term, but if they're crying, they're buying, right?
I've heard that.
I have not heard of that. I love it.
You not?
No.
We have to figure out how to make them cry about marketing.
Well, and for the business side, not necessarily the nonprofit side, but for the business side, I think, and really we are all understanding this more and more now with the whole pandemic situation. People want to feel like they know you before they do business with you.
Mm-hmm.
And the easiest way to do that is through video.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I look at people's Instagrams and I'm like, okay, you set up that shot 5 million times. Great. That still shows me nothing about who you are.
Mm-hmm.
But the realness of video, I think, really helps people understand who you are. And that translates well to a company, I think. So,
absolutely. You can't get more personal than you personally being on a video.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to, once they hire you, they're going to kind of know what you're about. So you can try to, as a friend says, you don't want to let the crazy out all at once. But they're going to know. They're going to get to know your personality. And if you guys don't jive at the beginning, you're definitely not going to jive through the project. And that's when you really need to make sure that you're really together on things.
Mm-hmm.
Most definitely. And we talk about this, especially lately. There are more eyes on the internet, there are more eyes on social media. There's not a better time to be doing video, whether it's a production like you all offer or even solo, to get out there and tell about your business. Let me look over. It looks like we have Cindy Edmonds joining us today, and Karen Taradas, video baby, said. And she's like, Angela is awesome.
We have been saying for years that this is, and you look back all the tracks, everybody's like, this is the year for video. This is the year for video. This is the year for video. Well, 2020, yeah, it is the year for video because we're, a lot of us are just within the compounds of our own little home, and all you have is your cell phone to keep you entertained. Might as well start doing some videos.
No, you're exactly right.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. I've been saying for years, like you said, it's this year. It's already here. It's been here for years. So I've just started practicing what I preach too, because of the situation we're in. So it's a really good time to get started. Well, let's talk about businesses, and what kind of ideas do you have for doing video for businesses, or how could they use your services? And that may be a broad question, or maybe give us examples of what you've already done.
That is kind of a broad service or broad question. I think I was kind of thinking about this morning. I actually have an idea for Lisa Phillips. Glenna, I know you know Lisa, and we need to tag her or something, because I thought of a great video idea for her, because she's in the makeup industry. She's the most amazing Mary Kay lady ever.
Yes, she is.
And yesterday I was at Lowe's. I had to pick up something that we had ordered. Okay. So trying to be socially distant as much as possible, but I actually had to go into the store to get the order. Well, they couldn't find it. It was wherever. I actually had to wait for like 30 minutes, but I had my mask on the entire time. Well, I get out to the car, I take my mask off, and my skin's really kind of itchy. I was like, that's weird. I know I'm not allergic to the mask. I made the mask myself. It's good. My skin had dried out all over here. And then I remembered that is actually a thing that nurses are saying, that wearing the mask for a long time, that they're really getting some chapped areas. I was like, that would be a perfect video for Lisa to come on and tell which one of her products can really help with that. So we need to wake her up this morning.
Yeah, I'm sure she's up. She gets up early.
Yeah, she really does. So, but I think it's just, you get in a brainstorming session and we all have information in our heads that somebody else doesn't know about. And we might think that that's the most basic concept ever, but it actually is not for some people. So you actually have information you could be giving to somebody else through video. I did a series on the Cinepear's YouTube channel, and there's a lot of videos on there, and they're just little basic tips for businesses. And a lot of them formed because in talking to people, not knowing some of the things that I think are pretty normal. The copy paste function, shortcut keys on your laptop. What are some other things? Just the placement of your laptop when you're doing a Zoom call, instead of it being, here we go.
I hate that. I hate that.
Oh boy. Yeah.
As every celebrity late night host is doing right now. Like, why do we want to do that?
Right. Why do we want to expose all of our chins?
Well, I guess I was thinking maybe they're skinny and it doesn't matter to them. But that's not the first thing.
I'm almost hurting my neck looking up so high. No.
Stretch out.
Okay, John just said it's because those people don't know how to do. They don't know how to set their own stuff up because they've never done it.
Angela, I was laughing with my friends. I'm like, it's such an interesting time. We're all in quarantine, and yet we aren't seeing a lot of these celebrities right now. I mean, they're usually all over the place. And I'm thinking, oh, I know why. Because nobody's doing their makeup. Nobody's doing their hair. They're completely, they don't have any help whatsoever. So they're just like freaking out.
Sorry. Yeah, it's so funny. But I would respect them more if they came on and, said, I'm actually a real person. Surprise. Because we all know they are.
Oh, gosh. Angela, I feel like we could talk forever this morning. Like, just there's so many topics to talk about with videos and everything. But I want to shift gears a little bit. But how did you come up with the ideas for Bryan Campbell's series? Can you expand on that or talk about it and how you came up with all of that?
Well, for Bryan, who is an awesome, awesome guy, which is so funny, Glenna, you and I were talking like a year ago, and you were like, I didn't even realize that the adjectives I used to describe him were completely different than the adjectives that Glenna used to describe him. It was almost like we were talking about two different people. And she was like, no, he's reserved. I'm like, no. He's awesome. And so he had reached out and he had an idea because he watches a lot of guys, diners, drive-ins, and dives, on Food Network. That's he and his wife's Friday night routine. And he liked that idea of to be able to talk to the camera and do this kind of stuff. So we just kind of brainstormed around and came up with, it would be a great way of being able to brand him in the community because he had recently moved his office to Homewood. So he really wanted to brand into Homewood, to go around to different businesses in the area and basically interview them. And sometimes we would feed him the questions, and sometimes he knew exactly what to ask. And so it's collaborative effort. But that kind of format could work with so many other people. And almost your format here. You're bringing businesses onto you. You're kind of doing the format of being able to introduce somebody else to your audience. And we love doing that series. We absolutely love doing that series. It was a lot of fun.
I think a lot of people don't realize how much other people care about the people in their community and the type of businesses that they have and the services that they can provide. And any type of way of highlighting other people is always going to do well, I think, personally. So I love that y'all were able to collaborate and do that.
And the stats on it were amazing, Miss Social Media lady. We were talking the stats. The video views, the first one got like 12,000 views.
Wow.
Oh, and my producer over here is saying the cost to produce something like that was far lower than probably anybody thinks. Because it didn't take much. It really didn't. It was a very run and gun. And that's where that whole wedding industry background comes in and how you can translate it to corporate work. We're not used to having an option of doing things a second time. It's a run and gun kind of day. So you kind of go with it.
Awesome. Well, go ahead, Kelsey. Do you have something else?
I was going to ask her a question just about how COVID-19 has affected your business. Have you had to shift what you're doing in any way?
Well, on the wedding side, obviously, that has all had to shift. And that's fine. We're doing our best to make sure every bride and groom that are transferring to the fall gets a spot where they need to be. Our June brides we've got a couple of them that have already moved, and we have a lot more that are really holding out hope that they're going to be able to stay. So, and some of them are choosing to have a private ceremony and then do the party later. It just really depends if they're.
Did we freeze her? Okay, are you playing?
Hold that thought, Angela.
Hopefully she'll come back.
Yeah, we got to send her a message. I was about to say, or she's playing the best stare contest I've ever seen.
You win, Angela.
Angela, go out and come back in.
Yeah. Should we go ahead and remove her?
I don't want to kick her out and be mean.
Yeah. Well, maybe if we remove her, she can come back in.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, let's go ahead and do that. I was waiting for Harry to comment.
He's laughing. He's laughing. LOLs.
Okay, I'm gonna remove her.
There we go.
Okay.
Well, we've never kicked a guest off the show before.
Right.
I'm sure Karen Cross is dying right now too. She's like,
Yeah. We're like, all right, Angela, that's enough out of you.
she said tech issues. Maybe we could just pop Harry on.
Right. Yeah.
Harry, what are you doing?
Oh my gosh.
Well, you know the video stuff too. What I've talked to Angela about is doing a series on our company. But my fear was, what will I say when I get on there? I won't know, I'll be too nervous. I won't know what to say. But she said that her husband is a master at really getting people to relax and really pulling out your true personalities. So I think if you have somebody like that can help you through it like they do, there's really no need to worry about hiring someone like them to do a video series. But I think that would be one of the biggest things, is trying not to be so nervous, thinking I only have one shot to get this right.
Absolutely. You know, we talked about that too, which we're going to actually expand on that in one of our upcoming series. So there's a little teaser. Oh, here comes Angela.
Hey.
Tech issues? How is everybody? What did I miss?
Well, I was talking about how great we were talking about doing a series for Fusion 1 at one point, and I said, I don't know if I could do that. I love doing this, talking back and forth, but being on camera, and we were talking about how you said that your husband is a master at getting people to relax and pulling their true personalities out and that kind of thing.
Yes, he completely is. And that is helpful. But it also is, it takes getting over yourself. And
there you go.
At 20, I don't think that I could have done it on camera.
Yeah.
I am very positive at 30, anytime a camera would come on me, I would still be like, but it does, with time and with practice. But I think there is a magical part. I'm over 40 now, and it's like,
who cares?
Well, I think I met you first last year, and we were talking about all of the ways to DIY your videos, and I soaked up everything you said, but in the back of my mind, I was going, no, I don't think that's for me. I don't think I can do that, but here I am. So
yeah, there you are.
Get over yourself.
It's always about practice, you know. We know the stats for live video are much higher than pre-recorded video. And so that in itself is like, okay, well, live video is where it's at. But if you've never been in front of the camera or even practiced live video, that's a little frightening. I mean, it's legal now, but, you know, hey, throw a tech issue.
It makes it fun.
But you can always practice with your camera before you go do anything, you know. That's
true.
And that's what I did, that YouTube series. It was just me and my camera, and it wasn't a fancy camera. It was just my iPhone. And, but the first one is a little awkward, and the second one's a little bit more, you know, but then it gets better and better and better. And by the time you do the 15th one, it's like,
yeah.
I want to.
Well, I have to tell you, we've never kicked anyone off before. So
I'm sorry, I should have been better
yourself. No, and talking about DIY, so there's definitely a place for DIY as well as produced video like you guys do. Talk about, I always laugh at your phrase MacGyver approach. And
that's also dating us, Glenna, because I'm not sure Kelsey or Sarah even know what who MacGyver is.
they probably, you know what? I was thinking that when I was typing out this question, I was like, is anybody going to even know who the heck MacGyver is? Explain who MacGyver is and what your MacGyver approach is.
I know who MacGyver is.
You do?
Oh, yeah.
But Kelsey's not saying anything.
I don't know if he's an actual if this is an actual person, but my parents always use that term as like how you do it yourself, your method for doing things.
Wow.
Kinda.
Feeling a little old right here.
Yeah.
So MacGyver, it was just a show in the 80s, and he always got stuck in these crazy situations, right? He never had anything that he never had anything on him but like duct tape and a knife or whatever. He would be able to get himself out of any situation, a bomb or anything at the end of the show, by the end of the show with just whatever he had on hand. And so I guess I refer to it as that because if I want to do a video, if I'm like, okay, I've got some information to share. I have some great ideas. I actually showered today. Let me get doing a video. And I go and look for our gear. Well, the gear's probably out on a job making money, which is great. Okay, that's where it needs to be. I don't have that, but what I do have is my phone. And like everybody else, your phone is wonderful. It is allowing us to be able to do what we need to do. So instead of like a tripod, you can use your fireplace mantle if you need. Because it's up high, right? Because ideally we want to, have your laptop or your phone at eye level or above is always nice. And so you can do that with your fireplace mantle. If you need a wide shot for something, prop it up there and then, exercise video or whatever you're doing or whatever your skill set is. And then the MacGyver approach to video. Now, I'm not sure everybody has gaff tape around, but gaff tape is something that's common in our world. But gaff tape allows you to be able to tape something like your phone to something else without it harming your phone. Duct tape probably would harm your phone, but the gaff tape doesn't. So, you can, I even had my phone one time wrapped around with some gaff tape and I had slanted down a little bit. Just because I wanted the angle, I was up higher and I wanted the angle down. And gaff tape helped with that. So you never know what you can.
So you just turn into MacGyver and you just deal with what you have, basically, right?
Yeah. I mean, we all have all kinds of excuses on what we, why not to do something. And right now, everybody has a lot of time. And if you sit down and you brainstorm and you have all these ideas of information that you'd like to give out to people, then you might as well go ahead and do it and look around. What do you have? How can you make this work? And you know what? Maybe in a year, if you're still doing them, you upgrade, or 3 months, you upgrade to a different product. But right now you don't have to, because now is better than perfect. We always hear this phrase, and it's absolutely true. Mm-hmm. And just to get it out there. It's all about content.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I find when I'm doing videos, I like to batch them. If I have, I've come up with several ideas. I'm like, all right, I'm going to, once again, I've showered. I'm going to get these videos done. And I just do like 7 of them, 8 of them at a time. And I just change shirts.
Yeah. That's important.
It's a good piece of advice.
Yeah, that part's not in the video. John just said that's not the kind of videos we do. So shirts off camera, and you come back and you look different, or you could put up your hair one day and, you can quickly make it look a little different so that you can get your content out there and get it scheduled, and then you're done.
Yeah. So let me ask you about placement. We were talking about this. Like, I feel so there's one part with videos, which is kind of overcoming those nerves and just kind of putting yourself out there. Mm-hmm. What would you say for placement? Like, where should you position yourself to the camera?
Well, we were kind of talking about that this morning because of the lighting situation changed. Normally, I'm reversed here in my living room. But with the lighting situations, I needed to be, for the placement of, I'm in the middle of the room because it looks like if I was up against a wall, you don't have that depth that you need if you're in the middle of the room. So I've created my own little desk. I am on a TV tray, and I do have a couple things propping up my laptop so it's eye level with me, which I really, really appreciate. I think, John, are you doing a demonstration? John's doing a demonstration.
Oh, look at there.
Now that is MacGyver.
Yeah, that is MacGyver, straight up.
That's my great grandmother's suitcase.
And we appreciate her for the suitcase.
Yeah, here's a box full of sewing supplies. And instead of being
On a couch.
on the couch,
Wow, you're really just showing the entire living room.
I wasn't ready for that.
it seems counterintuitive to put your setup so close to the wall, right?
Mm-hmm.
The wall's right there. But if you go sit on the couch where you might think you should be, the back wall is so much closer that it compresses the image a bit. Does that make any sense?
Absolutely.
So we should point out that he is a professional and I am not. But this is the MacGyver approach. Play around with it so that you can, this changes the lighting, doing this. So I'm going to keep my head in front of it.
It's like, work around it.
Yeah.
Harry has a question for you. He wants to know, with Main Street Productions, how far do you travel to do weddings? Could you go to Mobile?
Oh, yeah, we go to Mobile all the time. The Fairhope area just, it really just depends on where a couple is wanting us to be. So we've gone to New York City, which sniff. We won't be going there for a little while, but it's always fun to get out and do something different when you're not used to. It's just fun, I guess.
Awesome. Well, talk about one other thing, and we've hit on it a little bit, lighting. We're talking about lighting. You don't want to look like you're in the dark or in a closet or whatever.
Right.
What about if you don't have the fancy ring lights and production lights? What's the best alternative?
Well, obviously, natural light is wonderful. Our blinds sometimes, and John, you might be doing an experiment with the blinds. Do you mind? Like we have one open and then one closed, and he's about to change it. So if you can almost.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So,
All I'm doing is pulling the blind.
yeah, all we're doing is just pulling the cord. So it's just opening the blinds. So now.
But I can also do like that.
Yeah, now he's pointing the blinds up, so the light goes up and bounces down, which I like. There's also on your laptop, you have your brightness control.
Oh, I didn't think about
And
that.
a lot of times you can you guys, my glasses are easy to see through because you have
Yeah, I can.
but this is all the way bright on my laptop. And then I turn it down a little so that you can actually not see what I'm looking at on my screen. And then I know that you mentioned this trick with the eyeglasses that you can tilt them a little bit.
Yep.
With the glare. So they're just tilted just a little bit, and that helps with the glare.
Cool. Awesome. Great tips.
Angela, so would you say that the lighting, if you have natural lighting, should it hit from the sides, from the back, or like you were talking about up and then kind of bounce back down? Because I feel like the lighting, it really, it can make or break.
We struggle with it every show. So it's like, what are we doing with it? I don't know.
This is John.
Hey,
Hi, John.
you can get as complicated as you want with lighting.
Let's go simple.
But simpler is better. All you really want is you want it nice and soft, so no hard shadows, and you want your person to be brighter than the background.
Oh.
So you see the background is dark here,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
but Angela's not. That draws the viewer's eye to her.
Yeah. Okay.
Makes sense?
Perfect.
Yeah,
I
Yes.
don't
good.
have any of the lights.
Yeah.
There's
First-
no lamps
yeah.
on or anything. I'm just using the natural.
Yeah. The
I need
window,
to turn my lamp off.
Yeah. Well,
time of day can matter.
Yeah.
The windows in your house and that kind of stuff. Just follow the light. Make
Perfect.
it in front of you and nice and soft. So the reason that we're achieving softer light is we have blinds and we're bouncing them off the seat. I'm bouncing the light off the seat.
Cool.
It would be the same effect outside on an overcast day, right?
yeah.
Like bright sunshine with no clouds, it's going to be really, really harsh.
Perfect.
So the little camera in your phone or your laptop or whatever, you really can't control the exposure, so you have to feed it as much light as you can get it.
Perfect. That helps a ton. You don't even
Yeah.
know. I want to get up and change my blinds like right now.
The word photography is just Latin for drawing with light.
Interesting.
Okay.
You can't draw without light. So just feed the camera as much light as you can, nice and soft, and you'll be good.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Thank you for that.
Great advice.
You
So
solved a
just
lot of
windows.
problems.
Here's the translation. Face windows.
Perfect.
Well, I got to know, do you have any don'ts for video?
Like, do not do
Like,
ever.
what you
Yeah.
should never do? Besides, the great view of your under chin.
Yeah,
Anything
that's my
else?
best one because that's always like really, really good to show people. This, swaying when you're doing video is hard because it changes your lighting a lot.
The worst is when they do this. This is my pet peeve.
Yeah.
Sit still.
Yeah. Follow me around the house.
So no, I don't know if there's really any don'ts for video because I guess there are, but I almost don't want to discourage people from doing it because I know people that are so concerned. You know what? That's a very good one. I am sorry. Mention it.
Maybe we got to get really basic.
Oh my gosh. When I saw that, when it went viral, I felt so bad for that. What was her name? Jennifer?
Oh,
I know.
yeah. I
Bad
said,
for her.
poor Jennifer.
Yeah, that's something. That is absolutely something. And watch what's in the background. If you look around first, absolutely look around and see what is it because people are watching.
Yeah.
Same thing with somebody's webinar. I'm like, ha, look what they got in their house.
Oh my gosh. That is the worst. Oh gosh. Can you believe we've been on here for almost 35 minutes?
Sorry,
When you're having fun.
here for a minute or two.
Oh, that's not a big deal at all. Is it me?
Is it me? Is it me? Is it you?
Go ahead,
Well,
Sarah.
I wanted to know, we always like to ask this of our guests, who would be the best referral partners for you?
Oh, I'm trying to think about that. We love working with kind-hearted, wonderful people, and when I look back at who our favorite brides are, it's the same people that translate over to our corporate clients. They just have a warm heart. And I know that's so generic and that might be a lot of people. And of course I can niche it down, but at the end of the day, kindness is really where those are the people you want to work with. Those that really have a heart for their community. I think that especially with Cinepear and the nonprofits, those that understand there is value to video. And it's not just something, I don't know, on Main Street, I have a page on our website that says, trust us. So it actually says on there, the question is, I don't really want video. Should I have you there at the wedding? No.
Probably not.
I think that they will regret it later. Yes. But do we want to spend 10 hours with somebody that doesn't want us to be there? No.
Right.
If it's important to you. So I don't know if that answers your question or not.
It does. We just want to make sure that we get your info out, and because basically any business needs to be calling you for a consultation to talk about ideas of what you can do for their business. So it's broad, but it's true that any business could use what you guys do. So
yeah, we're not very much the green screen approach kind of company. You know, like you see the commercials where come on down, you know, we've got this and they've got a green screen. It's all about being real. We need to be real. We're not going to fake it. We're going to be real. Now we're going to make you look really good on camera, and we might have you say something twice if you flub it the first time.
And you have great editing
approach.
Yeah. We don't use teleprompters or anything. You know, our style is a narrative approach where there's no teleprompters or anything.
Perfect.
Well, I was just putting both of your companies, the information at the bottom. We got Main Street Productions right here. And
changing the colors too, Sarah. I like.
So you know how to reach Angela. So yeah. So we've got your contact information flowing. Is there anything that we didn't cover that you wanted to get out before we move on to our fun segment?
The only thing we didn't talk about audio. Find a quiet place. That's kind of would be nice, you know. Turn off the notifications on your laptop. It's very, very easy on a Mac. It's up on the right-hand side at the top. Turn off those notifications. That way you're not getting text messages, ding, 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 whatever you're doing, because that can be distracting. You know, if you wanted to invest in a microphone, Rode has a microphone. You can plug it into your, what is this? This is an iPhone. Your phone. And then be able to have a lapel mic for extra great, awesome audio on your iPhone. More than likely your iPhone has a better camera than your laptop, just because we update these a little bit more frequently. But your back camera is a different quality than your front camera. But it's also really, you know, you've got to really know where to place it if you're going to use your back camera. So test it. Selfie sticks are always great, but we talked about that. I don't ever have a selfie stick around. I think it's being used as a sword in my kids' life. Now it's better than perfect. Batch them. That's it. Yeah, that's it.
Well, do you have any classes coming up? Because I know you've taught a class. I just wanted to ask one more question. I keep thinking of them. Sorry, Sarah. I know we'll get to the hot seat right after this, I promise. Do you have any classes coming up?
You know, everything's kind of been put on hold right now until we kind of know a little bit more about what's going on. I'll be happy to do a class. Classes are fun, I think, because they're not too big, and that's better, you know, because I'm not an extrovert by any means, so I do not want to stand in front of 250 people or anything. But 5 people, that's awesome. That's what I like. And just sit around. I think I have a passion for helping other small businesses and being able to just really guide them through the initial steps of their business, you know, as they need to go.
Perfect. Fun time.
Well, Angela, this has been informative, fun, great, all the good feels. So we really appreciate. Yeah, we really, really appreciate it. So we're going to move on to a little segment. If you've been tuning in before, you know what it is. It's the hot seat. We're going to ask you questions. You got to answer as many as you can. Just the first thing that comes to your mind. So here we go.
What I'm most scared of.
Okay, are you ready?
Glenna, do you have a timer?
I got it.
Okay.
Here we go. Have you ever sent a text message to the wrong person?
Oh, yes.
Do you consider yourself a good dancer?
Yeah.
Are you a morning person or a night owl?
I'm a night owl.
Would you rather cook or order in?
Oh, that's a hard question to ask after you've been cooking a lot right now. So, I pretty cook.
Yes. Are you always on time or always late?
I'm always exactly 6 minutes late.
Whoa. Okay. If you could eat one food for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh, I won't do too much for that. Yeah.
What's worse, a bad smell or a bad taste?
Taste.
Okay, drama or comedy show?
What was your drama or what?
Comedy show.
Comedy.
You made it.
You did it.
Survive.
That was not hard at all.
No.
Well,
Oh gosh. Well, thanks again.
Yes,
we
thank
really
you.
enjoyed. Yeah, we really enjoyed this time. And thanks to everybody out there for tuning in. We appreciate it, and catch us next time.